You know, we're just getting shit done this year. We're just getting shit done. Hello, my lovely little coffee beans. My name is Sarah. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be doing the JAN-uary Book Tag. This concept is so freaking cool. Jan, you are a genius. Jan the genius. To have the name Jan and to come up with the JAN-uary Book Tag, like, what an icon, what a moment. I'm channeling my inner Jan today, and I have some lipstick on. I mean, I know it's not like black or really dark, but I put on lipstick, which is something I don't normally do, and I also have a Dunkin'. So I'm Janified and we are ready to jump into the tag. Why is my flashlight on? Let's go and look for the questions. I should have had these pulled up already, but I'm a mess, so you know. Okay, so question number one is, what was the last or first, if you remember, book you read last year? The first book that I read last year, I think, was The Hollow Places by T.F. Kingfisher, and I gave it 2 stars. I did not like it at all. I have been getting better about it, but I'm not a very visual reader. Like, I can't really picture things that are going on in a book when I'm just reading about them. And this was very heavy on the descriptions of the place they were going to. So essentially this book, if I remember correctly, is about this girl who moves in with her uncle at his like weird trick shop for a little amount of time. I don't know why. I can't remember why she's there in the first place, but she finds like this hole in the wall that just continues on, and there's doors and there's weird places. Like, it's basically a portal to a different realm or a different world, and she brings along this guy who works at a coffee shop like nearby or attached to the trick shop that she's in. It's all kind of chaotic and it's all kind of hard to picture for me, and that just really made my experience with the book that much less enjoyable because I couldn't picture what was going on. So it was very hard for me to be invested in the story. And the writing, I was liking it at the beginning. I don't know why I just sounded southern. I was liking it at the very beginning because our main character was kind of sassy and sarcastic, which I love in a main character. But just, yeah, with the descriptions of what the place looked like, I could not picture it whatsoever. And for that reason, it just made my experience with the book very dull, confusing, and boring. So 2 stars for that one. And then the last book that I read in 2021 was Hate Notes by V. Keelan and Penelope Ward. I think those are the authors. It was okay. I think it's more of like a 3-star book. It wasn't anything great. It wasn't anything horrible. So you're run-of-the-mill 3 stars. 3.5 stars more like, but 2021, I couldn't rate books with full stars, or no, I couldn't rate books with half stars, that's what I meant to say. So this year I'm gonna be giving out half stars left and right, but because I did read it in 2021, it was a 3-star, but in actuality a 3.5 because I did like it. So now I'm having to look up what the book was about on Goodreads. It wasn't even that long ago. Okay, so we follow our main character Charlotte, who at the very beginning of the book we find out that she had just broken off her engagement. She was engaged to her boss at her company, and she found him and the secretary in a very compromising position, needless to say, and they broke off their engagement. She is going to a wedding dress shop to return the dress and get some money back for it because she no longer needs the dress. And they're like, oh, we can only give you like store credit. And she's like, what? Like, I don't want another wedding dress. I'm not getting married anymore. But then she's looking around at the different wedding dresses. She finds one that is like very unique, and she sees this little blue note inside of the dress sewn in. It's like a love note to obviously the person that was going to be wearing the dress, like from the fiance of the bride, but she's like, why would somebody return this dress? Like, obviously he was in love with her to write her this endearing ass letter, like this endearing ass note, so I need to know. And it's like signed Reed. So she basically goes up down a rabbit hole and looks him up. She has a breakdown in the bathroom and some woman is also in there. She spills her guts to this woman, and this woman is just like, hey, you know what? I have a good feeling about you. I think you should work for my company. So she goes to the company, and lo and behold, who also works at this company? Reed. But she's still curious about his past relationship. Like, why did it end? Like, why is the wedding dress at the wedding dress shop with the note still in it? Like, what happened? So yeah, it was fun. It was enjoyable. It wasn't anything like amazingly immaculate or anything like that, so that's why I gave it 3 stars, but it was fun. That was a really long answer to a short question. Question number 2, what is your first read this year? So I've already read my first book of the year. It was a 5-star read, and I have a book hangover currently because of it. I just finished it last night, and it will be living in my brain rent-free for the rest of the year. I can already tell it's going to be on my top 10 of 2022, and I can't get over it. But it is Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan, and this comes full circle because Jan is the one who actually indirectly recommended this to me. I saw it on her story and it looked very interesting, and then I was like, I need to go get it at the bookstore, and Barnes & Noble was having their 50% off hardbacks. This is hardback, and I was like, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna dive in. I didn't really know what it was about when I first bought it, but that's how I am with most of my books. And that's how I am with books that I've read even. I'm like, what was that book about? Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan is so good. There's a lot of trigger warnings though, so please look those up before diving into this book. But it was beautiful. It was written so well, and I underlined in it and I wrote in it, which is like, makes me feel a little bad to the bone, you know? But it just was so necessary for this book, like mind blown. I was crying while reading this book, like it was a time. So definitely recommend it, but look up trigger warnings. Okay, and then question number 3 is to share 3 of your reading goals this year. I already filmed a 2022 reading goals or like bookish resolutions video, but that video is not going to come out because I was looking back at the footage and I was just not happy with it. So I'm kind of glad that this tag kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, because I can talk about some of the things that I want to do in 2022, and also I can do this tag. So 3 goals that I have for this year. First goal is to read 100 books. I did read 100 books last year, which I was really excited about. I actually surpassed that. My goal was 100, and I read 202 books last year, which blew my mind. I impressed myself with that. Like, I didn't even think I would be able to hit 100 books in a year, let alone 200 books in a year, so that was crazy. But I'm not gonna be raising my goal to try to like outbeat myself from this year and be like, I need to read 205 books this year. I'm going to set it at 100 books, and I'm gonna focus on quantity. I always say it wrong. I'm going to focus on quality over quantity. So I want to make sure that the books that I am reading are books that I want to be reading, number 1, and 2, I'm not just reading them because everyone else is reading that certain book. And also I want more 5 stars, because out of the 202 books that I read, there was a lot of mediocre books. So I really want to focus on trying to read books that I'm gonna love. I mean, obviously you never know if you're gonna love a book or not, but I don't want to read books just so I can have another book to add to my Goodreads goal, if that makes sense. My face is getting progressively redder because it's getting hotter and hotter, but I don't want to take this jacket off. So my third goal is to read more books that I physically own, because my read to unread ratio on my shelves is a little out of control. So I want to focus on reading more of the books that I physically own instead of just getting whatever is available at the library, getting whatever I can on Scribd, getting whatever I can like through any other kind of app. I really just want to be able to say that I've read more books on my shelves than I haven't, or at least have the ratio of read to unread books sort of even. That's my goal. Question number 4 is to share 3 of your most anticipated titles. So my 3 most anticipated titles, I know one of them is one that Jan actually put for one of the other answers to one of the questions, but my number 1 answer is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I have gotten into Colleen Hoover in the past couple of months. I think I've read 6 or 7 of her books just within like the last 2-ish months of the year, and she's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. I get it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm really into it. I really love, and I love the cheesiness. I love the dramatics. I love the cringiness. Like, just give it all to me. I swear. I get so invested. November 9, I was sobbing my eyes out. I was sobbing for what? For what? They're fictional characters. But Reminders of Him is definitely up there. Another one would have to be Insomnia by Sarah Pinborough, because Sarah Pinborough, I've only read Behind Her Eyes and freaking loved it. 5 stars, one of my favorite books of all time now. And I do own, it's actually right here, I do own Cross Her Heart, but I haven't read it yet. I heard this one's not as good as Behind Her Eyes, but then again, a lot of people hate Behind Her Eyes, so I don't know. Either way, Insomnia is already on my pre-order list. Like, I'm gonna pre-order it probably next week. I don't know. A book I already pre-ordered that I'm really excited for, it is called The School for Good Mothers by Jessamine Chan, and it's a debut author. Let me just read you the synopsis or a little blurb off of Goodreads because I can't form a coherent thought apparently right now. In this taut and explosive debut novel, one lapse in judgment lands a young mother in a government reform program where custody of her child hangs in the balance. The state has its eyes on mothers like Frida, the ones who check their phones, letting their children get injured on the playground, who let their children walk home alone. Because of one moment of poor judgment, a host of government officials will now determine if Frida is a candidate for a Big Brother-like institution that measures the success or failure of a mother's devotion. Faced with the possibility of losing Harriet, Frida must prove that a bad mother can be redeemed, that she can learn to be good. I have no desire of ever being a mother, so it's a cool dystopian moment, you know? It's a cool fictional moment. It sounds really cool, and I'm really excited to read it, and I'm excited for it to arrive tomorrow. Okay, and then number 5 is like a hefty question. Which goals did you reach / not reach last year? So the goals that I did reach, I read 100 books, hit that 200. I also completed the Buzzwordathon challenge every single month last year, so that's good. Did I love all the picks that I picked? No, because some of them I was just like, I need to check this off. I just need to read a book that has blank in the title. So I need to be better about that this year and kind of plan out what I want to read for each month, and then if that changes with my mood, then fine. Those are the 2 that I hit, and all the other ones I kind of missed. So I didn't keep up with my reading journal, didn't keep up with my channel, what else did I not do? A lot of things probably. Question number 6, are there any 2022 releases you've heard of that you have no desire to read? Basically anything fantasy. Like, let me be completely honest. I did put up the graphic that was going around Instagram for the 12 and 12, so 12 friends recommend 12 books for you to read in 2022. And let me just say, a lot of those are gonna be fantasy books. A lot of people recommended me fantasy books, so I will be reading those. But aside from that, I don't think I'm going to be reading any fantasy. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I read Beach Read when it came out, and I gave it 4 stars. I did really like it, but the more I think about it, I'm just like, I'm kind of lukewarm about it. And then I got People We Meet on Vacation through Book of the Month last year, and I still have yet to read it. So I have really no interest in reading Book Lovers, at least until I've read People We Meet on Vacation, and then maybe after that I'll be like, okay, I need to read Book Lovers. Oh, another one is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I've only read one Ruth Ware. I own all of her books, which is like, what? Why did I do that? I've only read one by one, and I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I liked how fast-paced it was, and I didn't mind the talk about their company and their app and whatever. But I know a lot of people didn't like that. But The It Girl just doesn't, I don't like the cover. I don't really vibe with the concept, and I'm just not as excited about it as everyone else. I might read it once I get through some of her backlist titles, but until then, it's not on my highly anticipated list. Okay. Question number 7. I've been talking forever. What are some reading habits you want to change this year, if any? So I think I kind of went over a few of them, that I want to focus more on quality over quantity. I said it right the first time. I really want to be better about writing reviews for the books that I read. Question number 8, are there any adaptations you're excited about? And the answer is, I don't know. I really don't know. There are a lot of adaptations I would love for them to be working on and love to come out. I guess I don't really like pay attention to when adaptations are coming out. There probably are a lot of adaptations coming out this year that I don't remember knowing about. Question number 9, favorite bookish memory of last year. I think the highlight of my bookish year last year was meeting so many amazing content creators and being able to chat with them like offline, and just whoever said internet friends aren't real are lying to you. The 24-hour readathons that I did with Jan, all the live shows that I got to be a part of, those were so much fun. Like, I just love being able to talk about books with so many amazing people, so many amazing content creators that I look up to, and just being able to call so many of them friends. Like, it's so cute and I love it. There were so many amazing moments that I can't really just pick one, you know? The last question, question number 10, is carryovers from last year that you still plan on finishing. And I really don't have any, because I tend to start a book and then finish it pretty quickly because I don't like them to just sit. Okay, so I actually went and found some. I got a good chunk of the way through both of these books, but I just never finished them. One, because I'll just go through each one. I was gonna be like, let me hold them both up. But Sarahland by Sam Cohen. This was just a little too odd for me at the time. It's like a collection of stories about different Sarahs, and some of them are freaking weird. I got a good chunk of the way through it, 75 pages in. I was like, what am I reading while I was reading this? And then I kind of just put it down for the day and then never picked it back up again. And it has Sarah. I think that's kind of what drew me in, is that it was called Sarahland, and I was like, my name's Sarah. Like, love that for me. I do plan on reading this, finishing this, all the things this year. And then the very last book, Conversations with Friends. I think I got about 50% into it before I put it down to read other things. I wasn't really loving it, and I was kind of just jaded because I love Normal People by Sally Rooney so freaking much. Conversations with Friends is a book that I just need to let stand by itself. I don't need to compare it to Normal People until I'm done. Until I'm done, then I can be like, I didn't like it as much, or I loved it more than Normal People. But I just need to let it stand alone as its own thing, have its own time to shine, and hopefully I love it. Hopefully I don't hate it. I don't think I will, but who knows. And that's it. That's the end of the tag. It's getting hot in here, oh my god. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I did this tag justice. I hope I made sense in all of my answers. Who should I tag? I don't even know who Jan tagged, so I need to look that up before I start tagging people. I will leave it in the description box of this video. If you're watching this video, consider yourself tagged by me. You can say it was me who tagged you. You're tagged. Everyone watching this video is tagged. I love you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!